Thanks everyone for your patience. I would like to call this meeting to order. The next scheduled meeting is next month. I think the date is on the third Wednesday at 4:00.
February 19th.
February 19th. Thank you so much.
And that printout, I don't know if that would be helpful, along with the agenda.
Thank you so much. All right, city staff, can you please raise your hand? Right hand, do you swear and affirm still the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do, Nadine Dash.
Thank you. Can we do a board call?
Yes. Commissioner Toon,
Here.
Commissioner Vanderheiden. Yes. Commissioner Gray,
Here.
Commissioner Ho. Here. And Commissioner Brown.
Present.
Right. Is that a board?
Did we get a chance to review? Yes. And we have a motion to approve. Yes, second.
Who was the motion by?
Perfect.
And then seconded by Toon. Okay, perfect. All right.
In favor? Super. Probably go straight to our agenda.
You're ready for the applications. I'm good to start the second work. Good. So we got application COA 2400631 for 865 East Capitol Street. It is a request for action. It is actually an artwork donation. And so something that you guys want to vote on as well is to send it into the collection. We've got Haystack, formerly known as the City Collections, proposing a permanent donation of a digital print art installation named Sing It Like You Mean It to the Fran Ryan Center. The print is framed in a vintage wood grain finished TV with features popular in the 70s and the 80s. Since the piece will be installed in a public space, it will be framed with plexiglass. The proposal calls for the donation of the art piece to the City of Columbus. Therefore, the Art Commission will have to determine whether the piece merits ascension into the City of Columbus Public Art, Monuments, and Memorials collection. If ascended, the piece will be owned and maintained by the City of Columbus, and the applicant has provided a maintenance plan. The Recreation and Parks Naming, Signage, and Art Committee reviewed the proposal and had no objections. Staff analysis is Code Section 3115.05 states that the Commission should be guided by the preserving of the proper decor of the city, the maintenance of the proper aesthetic values, the providing and maintenance of an orderly balance in the location and design of works of art, and the prevention of blight or deterioration in and around public buildings and works of art. The proposal generally meets codes related to determination by the Commission. The basis for that is 3115.05, determinations by Commission. In making the approvals and performing the duties set forth in CC 3115.01 to 3115.04, inclusive, it shall be guided by the preserving of the proper decor of the city, the maintenance of the proper aesthetic values, the providing for the orderly growth of the city and its artistic treasures, the providing and maintenance of an orderly balance in the location and design of works of art, the preservation of property and the uses and function thereof, and the prevention of blight or deterioration in and around public buildings and works of art. And I'll go ahead and scroll through the application that they sent us. So information about the artist, Eric Adams. This is the piece right here. You've got dimensions. And this should all be linked on your agenda. They provided a little backstory on the art piece itself, the artist, and the maintenance plan. Here's an image. And that's all.
Do we have a valuation of, Mrs. Mary, do we have a valuation of the piece?
Not, I do not. And actually the applicant is here if you'd like to.
Oh, great.
You'll have to step up and they'll swear you in first. Yeah.
I'm sorry for jumping in.
Oh, no, you're
I'm
fine.
so excited.
You're good. You can take a seat right there. Oh, you're fine.
Thank you so much for joining us. Just following protocol, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yeah.
And will you state your name, please?
Sophia Alonza. I did not provide one with the application, but we certainly have one that we can provide with the documentation of ownership as well.
And would the city need that valuation in order to accept it?
No, so you can accept it still, and you can still vote on it to be accepted, and we deal with it on the back end.
Okay, so there's no, I don't know how this artist values his work. I just want to make sure that it's coming from the haystack, that it's
I'm gonna
within our.
confirm, but I'm almost positive that we're able to vote on it, but I will confirm right now. And if you guys have any questions as well for the applicant, feel free to do that.
I do. Okay, so how did this come about? Like, why are we here? This artist isn't from here. How did this all come to be? Did they know Fran? How did this all happen?
Yeah, so I work for Pizzuti Solutions. We were the owner's representative for CRPD. We basically worked as their owner's rep project manager for the creation of the Fran Ryan Center through construction, through Pizzuti Solutions. It's part of the Pizzuti family. They own formerly Pizzuti Collections. It is now Haystack. So throughout our owner's representative work, we also like to donate a piece of our art from our collection for each piece that we work on. So we worked with our curator at Haystack to look through the CRPD mission statement, what was important to the users that would be using the building. So for this instance, it's senior focused facility. So we thought that, you know, the wood grain TV would kind of be an interesting narrative to that. Additionally, we thought it was just a really interesting piece. There was a lot of color to it in somewhat of a dull space. So it would add a nice sense of a nice pop of color to the area as well. The process that we went through was I worked with our curator. We had selected, I believe, 3 to 4 different pieces. We met with some of the city staff along with the director of CRPD, Jeff Martin, Todd Camp, and Chris Scannell. We presented the pieces to them along with renderings of the various pieces in the building. And from there, staff selected this piece for the donation. We, of course, we worked within a budget that was based on our fee. So that was where we got the selection kind of for the pieces that we were looking through. We looked, of course, at some more local artists, but we thought that for the value of the building, this would be a piece that would most fit.
Okay, so I did get confirmation, so you can vote on it. Oh, sorry, no. Thank you. You can vote on it without the valuation, or you could condition your support to have us receive that valuation, and then you can basically conditionally support that until we have that valuation. So it's really up to you guys what you're comfortable doing.
Okay, I have another question.
Mhm.
So I see it's a digital print. What's a digital print of what? What is the original? Is there an original out there or?
Yeah, so the way that we do with our printing is I believe it's one of 20. So there's an original and then Haystack does prints of the original, but there's a limited amount. I can find out what this is, how many of these there are, but usually it's about 20.
And so what I'm trying to find out, is this a 2D piece that is actually a piece somewhere and we're getting a digital print of it? Or is this a digital print artist?
Oh, yeah, I believe it's just a digital print in general. He does a lot of multimedia, but I believe the original piece is just.
Understood.
And so while it is a digital print, we are framing and there will be security locks on it as well. So it'll be framed and everything like that.
And you can get some, so right here, it kind of lists like how he does it. So he has it digitally as like the original piece, and then these are just the limited edition and CMF.
I'm curious about the framing of it. Can you describe, what's the frame? Is it
Did it mention?
Yeah, so there are a few different options. We work with Reed Arts. I believe they're on Third Avenue. So they'll frame it for us. We can do black, white. There is a wood grain that we can do as well. It's up to, I mean, we can kind of do whatever.
So the rendering shows here, it doesn't include the frame.
Correct.
I see, I see. Because I think, I just wanted to make a small comment, I mean, in a space that looks like this, it looks very small,
Mhm.
So I wonder if, if you scroll down to this piece, this is your rendering, right?
Yeah.
So, being put in this space, I feel like the placement or the size, in relation to the windows, next to it, it kind of like, you make it too small, so maybe the framing can make it a little.
Yeah, definitely something that we can look into. We did a lot of renderings with the architectural, with the design team, with actual spaces within the facility and seeing the size of the actual print without framing, of course, but where it would fit best. And there are a lot of large white walls that are supposed to be used to display the user's works of art. So there's spaces for quilting, there are spaces for pottery. So we did want to be conscious about those large spaces being reserved for the users of the space. And this was one space that we felt would be underutilized by the users, and it would be a spot that we could put a beautiful piece of art for the building. But yes, looking into the framing and how it can have a bigger presence would be something we can look into.
Especially on the to say that, I don't know. Like, how do we normally with rec centers and places like this? With the art that's in the buildings, like the Spray and Crime Center already have artwork, it's just the first piece that is going to be submitted.
Actually, for the time, was here.
Not a coincidence.
Yes. It's users are then please swear approach to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
I do Lewis Taylor Planning Division.
So I don't think with the question. The question is, does the Brian Center already have artwork or is this the first piece?
Oh, no, I mean, if there is artwork there, it's not part of our collection.
That's finished.
So, yeah, we don't have anything in that location as far as art goes.
Also, there's quite some time ago, we talked about, and maybe this predates all of you, about establishing some kind of vision for the city's collection, right? Thinking about like how do we, what's the context within which we accept work, right? And so we continue to accept pieces, here, there, everywhere. And I think, I don't know, this is just really for us in general to think about, like, it's going to be really important for us to work on a framework from which
Yeah.
we make these choices. Or, establish guidelines around, what sort of work we
Yeah.
like to accept.
Aaron, can I reach out to Aaron?
Sure.
Do I need to be?
Yeah, Aaron, come on up.
Aaron, do you want to join us? Sure. Yeah. Will you introduce yourself and then start you?
Hi, Erin Blue, Director of Department of Development.
Swear affirm to tell the truth, nothing but the truth, the whole truth.
Yes, I do. So actually, I was having a meeting with Amanda Golden, who was working with me on reimagining Columbus. A part of that, for those of you who don't know, is a City Hall art plan. We're not going to call it a City Hall public art plan anymore, so we don't get confused by the other public art plan that's happening. But so the City Hall art plan will include recommendations for, kind of collecting. And that's a thing that we want to bring to you to review before it's finalized so that we can get your input on that as well. We'll work with planning and look at the timing of when we would come to the commission for that based on when it's ready. I haven't seen it yet. So probably before the spring, we'll be coming to you with what that art plan looks like. And then that is something that we as the city and as the commission could build from to kind of have that more thoughtful idea around collecting and how to add pieces.
Personally, if that is in the works, and I really thought this would be a slam dunk, but then it occurred to me, we've got this coming where we are going to have more concrete guidelines about accessioning and de-accessioning, at least that's what I understand.
Mm.
Correct?
I'm not sure how in-depth it is, because I haven't seen it yet.
Okay.
And I don't know when and I don't know when the final decision will be made on the plan. It is another piece of the work, the big work that we're doing, and it's not the priority of going to the community with that before we do the next step for reimagining Columbus. So it probably will be February or March before we come to you with a draft. And then I don't know what the plan is yet for after it's a draft. So,
And Aaron, is that the City Hall campus?
yeah, City Hall campus only. Yeah,
And I was also thinking, okay, so that's City Hall.
right.
But this art plan that that GCAC is working on, that good stuff, we're kind of in a holding pattern with that. It would appear. So I think, as a commission, we could decide, I mean, I think it makes perfect sense to accept that. We haven't discussed this as a group yet. I think it makes perfect sense. And since we really don't have that plan yet, it seems to me we could go ahead and move on this one. But going forward, it's, we'll have to vet it through.
Yeah, I would say the vision development department's position is we shouldn't be holding up good public art while we wait for the public art plan. Like in an ideal world, I know that we would hope for that guidance, but it's kind of like you said, in a holding pattern. And so I would say we should just do business as usual for now.
Okay.
And then when we get that plan, we can react to that plan, and then we could move forward in hopefully a more strategic fashion on how we're doing.
Okay.
I will say from that meeting that we had, that the push was for individuals to pull forward this agency to stop building the boat while they're in the middle of the Atlantic and then having to go back and restructure it in order for it to float. So I'm comfortable with, us accepting this, but the reality is there is no need for us to have to go back and redo anything. Start out the journey the right way. And I think getting to that point is going to be what the objective needs to be. So, yeah.
My question is, how many digital prints do we have in our collection?
I don't think we have any.
I don't think so, that's one better, but, so maybe it is a.
Yeah.
And it's certainly appropriate for the facility. It's an arts facility, that.
It absolutely should go to, right, I'm just curious how, as far as where our collection stands right now, there's no digital prints in the collection.
Yeah.
Like, is that, this process of, now this goes into our collection, that piece I'm still, there's a disconnect for me. But as far as should this go in the new Ryan building, absolutely,
Yeah.
but that piece of like, but this piece is also part now of our collection and we have to,
Right.
that piece of, just kind of gray, I don't understand how that works.
Well, it makes perfect sense, especially since it's a digital. I mean, that's just one more benefit of it, because we don't have any other digital things, in my mind.
But there's a reason for that too, right?
No, this is never, I mean, I haven't been here forever, but some days it feels like it. We have never been presented with a gift of a digital print. We actually haven't been presented with many gifts. I'm trying to even think of the last.
It's been very long.
Right.
I've always thought we have the gift policy, but I don't really remember in our research that we've seen any gifts of that.
Right. Which would be, that's why it'd be great to have a solid plan.
Yeah.
So that when everyone starts planning to give us their form.
But you understand the difference in the process. So if you would send this to our collection, it would become part of our collection. We would maintain it and own it moving forward. if we don't send it into the collection, then it would always kind of be not part of our collection, we wouldn't own it, it creates vague scenarios on who's in charge of the piece, takes care of it, and we lose ownership of it in the future. And I know that on our research, we've never seen, it's not that we didn't want digital prints, we just never
Yeah.
were presented digital print. So it's kind of interesting. Yeah.
It creates.
I'm very happy to.
So once it becomes the city's collection, so will the city be the person, would be the entity determine where it is on display? Like, can it be moved around somewhere else? And
Well, I would say that this commission would be in charge of, if it were to be moved, and the appropriateness of its location, that's your charge.
Which means that we have to have policy in place in order for them to say, I'm gonna paint this wall and I would need to move in. They need to inform us where it goes, yeah, in the interim.
And that's what goes back to my question, of what is the art situation inside the building? Is this the only piece that'll be on our collection as they continue to put around walls and other space places? And how does that work, or is everything in the building the city's? And
So I was at the opening, the community open house last week, and it really is a robust community art center. So there's a very big gift shop. So a lot of pieces that are handmade, art items in the gift shop. And then I expect, there will also be, as you mentioned, someone mentioned displays, of student work there. And I would guess that there's someone on staff at the Fran Ryan Center who is in charge of maintaining.
the art is different, like what?
Yeah, this is different from this is right. I'm not qualified to speak for them, but I would say that the work that comes in and out as a part of programming the center would be considered different. And not, it's owned by the artists still, they're the ones that are letting it be displayed in a gallery show or for sale or whatever. It's owned until someone buys
So
it.
it's temporary versus permanent, and this is permanent.
Yeah, and it's not something that the city owns or has a say over necessarily. It's still owned by the artist,
So
those
basically,
community works.
the only art piece that is a permanent art.
Yeah.
Everything else is still.
It's kind of-
We know that from programs. We haven't given anything else, so this is it.
Right.
This piece just brought so much.
I'm so glad it could open up such a robust
That's right.
discussion.
Well, I think it's good note taking for when we're ready to make those policies. These are good examples of questions that come up.
Yeah.
It's easier to have an example of
Yeah.
something than to just kind of say what if, right?
Thank you.
There any questions?
I think I have one.
Yeah.
First, they have all the gold. So did they to make more contributions, or was this like a one-time thing because everyone loves Fran?
Well, it's a new development it's a new service that we're offering as part of our owner's representative work. So when we are hired to do project management, we take a part of our fee and we donate it back in the form of art. So we'll pick a piece from our collection, or we'll curate something new for the project that we're working on, and we'll donate it to the entity that we're working with. So for this specific building, it will likely be the only piece that we donate, but I know my mom will likely use this facility plenty, so her art will go up all over there. So, but yes, this particular piece is currently the only one that we're thinking of donating for this building.
Are there stipulations as part of the donation that the piece stay in the building in that specific location?
I think we would like to have it there at least for a little bit. I think we would like it to be in that location, in that spot, just for probably a little bit. I cannot quantify that amount of time. But once we turn over ownership, it truly is your piece. It's part of your collection. You are completely welcome to do with it whatever you like.
Well, this question might be for Louis. So like on the caption or label, on the wall, how does it identify it as part of the city's collection?
We don't have labels yet for those kinds of things. I mean, that's another project that we had in place with like little QR code readers or little things that some people don't have cell phones, maybe like a little, something that would indicate that our art pieces are part of the city's collection, whether it's over at Marconi Building or over on the west side in the Hilltop, something that indicates that. We don't have that yet. A lot of these things were put on pause as we were waiting for the art plan, so we don't have it at this point in time. Is there any kind of tag that's gonna be with the art piece, artist name or anything like that, or?
Yeah, we typically have just a standard one that states the name of the piece, the medium, the artist. Anything more than that I'm assuming would have to go through the city of Columbus standards but we can do a basic Pizzuti one.
Yeah, and I suppose if it was a Pizzuti one and we were inclined to put it
Yeah,
in the city of Columbus art collection, that would get, at least at this location, people would bring it.
yeah, yeah. Mhm.
And we would socialize this on social media, indicate that we had a new piece in our collection, if you feel so inclined to vote for it in our collection.
Yes, note for us too is standardizing how we might recognize City of Columbus art pieces.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, at least two of us work in galleries, so yes, there are standard formats, yeah.
Yep.
Power museums.
Yeah, it would also be helpful, at the opening, there was someone that I heard one of the guests wanted to buy one of the sample, pieces in one of the studios. They're like, can I buy that? And I'm like, no, it belongs to the artist. They're not here. I'm like, but can you call them? I want to buy it. So it might be good, especially in this space, to say that it's a piece of the City of Columbus collection. So folks know it's not for sale. Right.
So you're able to vote on it with or without evaluation. Also reach out to the applicant and email us so we have it, but we're comfortable with you guys just voting on sending it to the collection.
I guess one more question is starting, do we have any kind of security?
Your mic isn't on.
Security, brackets or something like that?
So for this object, it is locked up, and they have it listed right here.
Okay.
One of these.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be framed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right, can we have a motion to approve us and the city accepting this particular item?
Yes, I would,
What is it?
I so move.
And the motion to accept the fees. All of the Thank you.
Thank you guys so much for your time.
Perfect. Automation of you, but.
Yeah, if there's anything else, I'm happy to provide any more information. Thank you guys so much for your time.
Thanks for this.
Always have one.
Yes.
Okay, so you can't escape it.
Louis.
Not as bad as all of it.
thank you, Aaron. Oh, sure. Never know when I come in handy. That's it.
All right, so for the next project, just clarification. So the applicant they're new to this, it was applied as conceptual review. They would actually like it to be for action. So you guys are able to vote to move it to action and then vote on it. So just wanted to give you that heads up. So this is for COA 2400622 for 3901 North High Street. It is in Columbus Park Roses. They would like to put up 16 little squirrel doors on trees. They've done this before. Yeah, it's come before a long time ago. And so the Clintonville Arts Guild is proposing the creation of a temporary art installation named Squirrel Door Project in the Whetstone Park of Roses Garden. In this project, the artist will work solo or in teams to enhance the rose garden with small doors. The artwork will be made up of weather-resistant materials using a variety of artistic treatments. All created pieces will be mounted at least 6 feet above ground level, as the aim would be to keep the door simple to view and difficult to vandalize or steal. Installation of the pieces is intended to occur within the first 2 weeks of April preceding Arbor Day and will remain in place until mid-September. The pieces will be owned and maintained by the Clintonville Arts Guild, and maintenance will take place weekly for the 6 months they reside in the Rose Garden. The Recreation and Parks naming signage and art committee reviewed the proposal and had no objections. However, the applicant will enter into an MOU with Rec and Parks regarding maintenance of the piece. The staff analysis is code section 3115.05 states that the commission should be guided by the preserving of the property for the city, the maintenance of the proper aesthetic values, the providing and maintenance of an orderly balance in the location and design of works of art, and the prevention of blight or deterioration in and around public buildings and works of art. Summary, so originally I had written our recommendation as this is just conceptual, but it does meet the code guidelines. And so we are approving of that. And the basis is 3115.05 determination by commission in making the approval and performing the duties set forth in CC 3115.01 to 3115.04. Inclusive, it shall be guided by the preserving of the property for the city, the maintenance of the proper aesthetic values, the providing for the orderly growth of the city and artistic treasures, the providing and maintenance of an orderly balance and location and design of works of art, the preservation of property and the uses and condition thereof, and the prevention of blight or deterioration in and around public buildings and works of art. And then I will their packet. So they've got the installation description, who the artist/organization is. They've listed out the materials, the work foundation and the installation. They've got financial details, location, maintenance, and the community process. So here are some previous work examples. And then here is a sketch of a proposed scroll door. And then these are the locations marked for where the scroll doors would go.
All right, do we have folks from the Clintonville Guilds? Would you like to come up? And would you please introduce yourself?
My name is Kathy Grannon. I'm on the board of the Clintonville Arts Guild, and Patty Dean Maria, whose name is also on the document, is unfortunately stuck in Michigan right now, but she, I touched base with her yesterday and we made sure we were going to answer your questions.
And I'm Laura Partridge, president of the Clintonville Arts Guild.
And just for protocol, do you swear or to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
So help me God.
Yes.
Great, commissioners, questions? Everything I can know is great. Yeah. Maybe, as far back as I can. How we should do it. Question.
So how long the doors will be out?
From the beginning of April until after Labor Day.
I see.
And they'll be associated with maps and stories for people who tour them, both to identify the tree and some of its characteristics, to identify a type of squirrel and its characteristics, and a story.
What do you do with them when you're finished? Maybe recycle them? Oh, donate?
Well, it's interesting. We did it last year with a temporary art display in the Peace Garden, and we made things out of recycled materials for Earth Day. And when it was all over, we had so many requests for ownership that we actually took them to our November sale and laid them out on a table and let people bid on them. And that's
Did
what's
an
funding
auction.
this project. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so we'll probably auction them off again.
And the artists are members of the.
Yes.
Yeah, we have about close to 100 members now in the guild, and so we have so many different mediums. It'll be a real collective piece of doors, you know,
You
pieces with
jury
the.
them, or how are they gonna be selected?
No, we will work in teams. We just divide our, you know, we'll just 3 people on this, 4 people on that.
That's- Yeah, that's the beauty of it too. When we did the last one, people who hadn't known each other that well, you imagine with 100 members, they don't all know each other. We have great pictures of people meeting new friends, smiling and working together, laughing and having a good
Be able to
time.
work with different materials and experience some different types of art within the group. So it's a nice collaborative effort and working with the library and the rec center, so.
Yeah.
Yes.
We have no more questions, no?
No.
Do we, what is the motion we should make? Because we're just.
Yeah, so we just motion to move this project to action. So
Take action, do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion to move this project to action.
All those in favor?
Perfect. This is good. And then you could just make a motion to vote on the actual piece, so about.
Sure. Oh, we can do that as well.
Mhm. Yep.
All right, so make a motion for the actual piece to go up in the garden.
I'll make a motion for the actual piece to go, and this word, to go in the garden.
Great.
Perfect. You guys are good?
Thank you.
Well, and I just wanted to say regarding the previous piece, I have stuff in the Golden Hobby Shop and I did the community tour. You are putting it right by where they have the lounging area where people chat and remember things and do puzzles and stuff. It's like there couldn't be a better location and there really couldn't be a better piece of art to go there. So it'll be great.
Thank you.
Perfect, that is what we have. And then last piece of agenda isn't anything crazy, but I did add the business meetings. It is on the website, so you guys will have the full schedule now. We obviously couldn't do January 15th because it was like the next day, and so I wasn't ready. So starting February, we'll start having business meetings. They are 1 week from the actual hearing. We don't need quorum, but if we have like 2 people, that'd be better than having 1 person for the whole thing. And so it'll just be a chance for you guys to go over projects if you have them, to ask new questions. I can reach out to the applicant, ask for more information. And just a chance for you guys to talk, there's things about eggs and like Aaron, kind of update or anything. So that's all I have for you guys. That really, that
Can I let you know now that I am not in town to be that over?
Excellent. I'll make that. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
You're just bloating.
Right.
Are you going somewhere warm, Mary?
What's it?
Are you going somewhere warm?
Yes, we're going to Tucson for a couple of.
Excellent.
Yeah, she's, yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, that's why.
Question was, the last meeting I took you, which I was sick about, being sick on top of being sick. But, did you all get any closure with the public art thing?
No.
How did they come back?
So that is still, the public art plan is still a work in progress. And Aaron, you are more than welcome to speak about it if you want to. We're still working on that with GCAC. No updates, at least on my end.
I didn't listen yet, okay.
Nothing. Just from what happened in the last meeting and now, there hasn't been any change. We're still.
Would it make sense for me to invite someone like Jeannie Goldstein to our next business?
So we will extend the invite, whether or not they come, I don't know. So, but we can.
Yeah, something we did mention that we
Mhm.
want some.
Oh, yeah.
Yep, I-
Business presence.
If we made note of that, and that was kind of the point as well of the business meetings, that we're not using up the hearing time, and it's less formal. It's still on the record, but, I think it's a good time for you guys to discuss. So I will send the invitation to Jayden and whoever from GCAC.
Yes.
Is this the company?
Yeah, what would be great is have.
They're in Canada.
Oh, right.
They're in Toronto.
Yeah.
So it's less easy.
But if they're in town,
Mhm.
would be great to just extend the invitation.
So are they allowed to be zoomed in, or we can't have anybody?
Wouldn't it be better if you know, the community engagement people like, Marshall and Joe, Joanna, John,
Yeah.
those folks, like, would that be easier if you're for that?
Yeah, well, that's true, there.
Because my fear is that we'll get the version that we don't necessarily want. And no harm about to Jamie's opinion at all, but this decision came out of her conversation with us about getting rid of us. So
Yeah, so that's not happening.
Right.
So we've already made edits ourselves and we've made it to where the art commission is existing and the projects are still gonna go through you. So, yeah, so yeah, which I thought we discussed that last meeting, but in case it wasn't clear, we created a flow chart for us at least and for GCAC where we've clarified that any project that's on Columbus property is coming through the art commission. AIPP, we will work with them as well, where we can send applicants resources through AIPP and they can help them, whether it's location, funding, projects, finalizing, whatever. But that ultimately, it comes back down to the art commission. So that's been made clear to them.
As a matter of fact, we should have also seen that plan in this case. Really sounds things.
There was a committee meeting, there was a steering committee meeting a week before.
Yeah,
This
that's,
meeting.
that's not to come to, there's too many of us to do it. Maybe we can share it.
So we need to update, we're just gonna take Shelby to coffee.
But yeah, I wouldn't worry about, I mean, they can try all they want, but the art commission is obviously remaining. But we're working on it.
But that's what that is what our duty is.
Correct.
correct.
That's what we will be doing. So.
And that's not changing, it's not new or different.
Hopefully that's as,
Yeah.
it's sexy enough for
Mhm.
people who want to stay on the commission.
And Shelby, I can also give you, so the other thing we did in the last meeting was an update on reimagining Columbus. And so I'm happy to, I can just connect with you and give you an update.
That was very awesome. Yeah. Thank you.
No, you're fine.
And on Mary's question about whether they can be invited via Zoom, I think they probably can, but there may be some limitations on what official action the board can take. The board members are not permitted to attend virtually. However,
Right,
we,
and there won't be any, if they come, if we invite, board, let's say through Zoom, because it's a business, there will be no action, so I don't see what.
Right, we're not voting on anything, it's just.
it's really just for information.
I'll leave it to
It's
it.
just information.
But yeah, just to clarify, them dumping like I should probably stop recording. Okay, can we adjourn?
Yes,
Come here,
yes, yeah, I think that's.
Okay, thank you, and then I'll,